A game of chess. Long, long ago, there lived a king who loved to play chess. We don't know much about him, but for the sake of the story, let's just call him Chaturanga of Shatranjanpur. He was a brilliant player and no one could beat him at his favorite game. Of course, everyone in the kingdom wanted to play chess with the king. Imagine how grand you would feel if you could tell people that you are just coming away after playing chess with the king. That's how everyone in the kingdom wanted to show off. But Chaturanga found it irritating to play chess with rank beginners who didn't know a bishop from a knight. One fine day, an ignorant player maddened him by wrongly addressing the queen and king pieces as pawns. The furious king then declared that any player who lost to him at chess would be beheaded. Now, of course, no one wanted to lose his head just for the sake of playing chess with the king. So they stopped pretending to be chess players and Chaturanga finally heaved a sigh of peace. Then one day a young girl from a neighboring kingdom came to his palace. She challenged the king to a game. She looked bright and smart, so he felt sorry for her. "Listen, dear girl," said he, "do you know anything at all about chess? I mean, being a girl, you might prefer playing with dolls." "King Chaturanga, sir," said the girl, whose name was Preeti, very patiently. "Which century are you living in? This is the 15th century and we girls have come a long way. Of course, I know chess and I have outgrown dolls. I also know wrestling and archery, for your information." The king smiled doubtfully. "If you say so," he said, nodding. "But it is my duty to warn you. If you lose the game, you will lose your pretty head too. So think again before you challenge me." Preeti continued to smile. "Yes, your majesty, I know that. Maybe I will lose the game and my head. On the other hand, I may win. Then what's to happen?" "Impossible," snorted the king. "No one has beaten me for years. But if by some luck you do manage to win, you can have anything you wish." "Thank you, your majesty," said Preeti. "But all I want would be some corn, and let it be measured by a chessboard. That is to say, for the first square on the board, I get 1 ear of corn. For the second, I get double that, and for the third, double the corn in the second, and so on, until all the 64 squares on the board are accounted for." Chaturanga was very amused. "You could have asked for gold, jewels, or even a part of my kingdom. Instead, you ask for corn, just like a woman." Preeti merely shrugged her shoulders. "Your majesty, excuse me for saying this. You don't know women. You will see that my victory here will be a double win." "Well, we shall see," laughed the king. And he ordered one of his ministers to fetch the chess set and sent another to tell the executioner to have the sword sharpened. The game started well for Chaturanga. His bishop gobbled up several pawns of the girl, and then her black knight fell, and then her two bishops. But Preeti still looked quite unconcerned, and you would never think that her head was at stake. Then the king, feeling quite overconfident, made one wrong move. Preeti grabbed the chance with both her hands, and the next time the king looked at the board, he was horrified to see that he was checkmated. He had lost the game. "Well, well," said Chaturanga, clearing his throat. "You were right, and I was wrong. Girls are pretty smart these days, and you play chess quite well." Then he asked her, "Before we began the game, you said something about a double win. What did you mean by that?" "I will explain that after I receive my prize of the corn," replied Preeti. The king was still curious, but he ordered that the corn be measured as she had asked for. The chief minister hurried away to do so, but after an hour he returned looked very dazed and bewildered. "Your majesty," he stammered, "the storekeepers tell me that if you take 1 ear of corn and double it 64 times according to the number of squares on a chessboard, The total number of corn cobs come to a figure well over 18 million. What's more, said the shaken minister, the storekeepers tell me that if we employ 100 men to work day and night, it would take many years to count such a huge number. But that does not really matter because we do not have so many ears of corn in the kingdom, nor can we grow so much in a lifetime. The king was dumbfounded. When he recovered his composure, he told Preeti, "Well, you have certainly had a double win. You won the game, and then I cannot pay you the reward I promised. But you have taught me a lesson. A game is a game and cannot have serious conditions attached to it. In future, there will be no more beheadings. I'll play chess for the enjoyment of the game, and never will I underestimate the intelligence of women." King Chaturanga rewarded Preeti with expensive books, precious manuscripts, gorgeous jewelry, and silks before she left for her country. And from then on, the palace gates were open for all aspiring chess players, even those who did not know a bishop from a knight. But King Chaturanga now treated them with more sympathy. He appointed a smart young man as his official chess representative, and only those who could defeat him at chess were allowed to play with the king.